Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in miniature. Today as we continue down our road of historical kits for whatever reason, something different, something interesting, and something for conversion possibilities. Today we have a set of Victrix's early Imperial Roman auxiliary infantry. So Victrix has quite a bit of Roman units in plastic. You have both Imperial and Republic era infantry. And for whatever reason, the Republic stuff tends to be way more bang for your buck, and it's also a little bit more. But for whatever reason, the earlier stuff, you get a lot less figures in there. You only get 24, and as far as I know, there's 3 units available at this point. You have basically basic Romans, Legionaries, either advancing, attacking, and then you got the auxiliaries, well, the basic infantry units, and then you get into like the cavalry and things like that. But I have been quite curious to check out their Roman stuff for quite some time. If you're not familiar, it's a good idea to hold on to the bag toppers because they give you all of the information about how to use the various parts. Everything is labeled on there, thankfully. And I'm going to take a wild guess, but I'm going to assume that everything on these sprues is compatible with one another. So if you wanted to kit bash your regular Roman Legionnaires with your, auxiliary guys, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't know why it would be an issue anyway. Now, getting these out of the bag is proving to be a bigger challenge than I had assumed. Oh, finally, okay. Random piece of packing paper. I don't know what that's all about. Collector's bonus edition. So let's take a look. Here we have the command sprue. And this is specific to the auxiliary, if I can get that out of my mouth correctly. I'm actually kind of curious to see how different these are than the basic Roman infantry command sprues. I'm not going to guess significantly. I'm going to guess maybe with the armor and possibly with the helmets of the Centurions. You've got that kind of Samnite looking helmet there with the feathers. I'm not sure if that's specific to this sprue or not. Now, what's on these sprues is pretty specific. Let me make sure they are all the same before I start blabbing my mouth off. And so far, they are looking the same. Okay, good. All right, so besides that command sprue, the rest of these we have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these auxiliary sprues. Yes, you only get 3 bodies on here, but here's one of the cool things about this kit is you've got the animal pelts literally for every single member. I mean, there's way more bits on here than you could possibly need. There's already 8 sets of javelins down there. You've got the extra hands. You've got a couple of blades in the scabbards, which, if you know me, I'm always looking for more sheathed weapons. So there's 4 of those, but there's only 3 guys. I also have a torch arm, which those always come in handy for various gaming systems. Shields. They are the flat undetailed ones, so that way if you want to go with any of the decals or transfers, that's an option to pursue. You have enough arms with the gladius, gladii, I'm not even sure, if you want to equip them all that way. Handful of javelins, bit longer spears, no pylons. I don't know if that was something that just the Legionnaires themselves had and none of the auxiliary guys. You do have regular looking Legionnaire helmets. Obviously, if you want to go that route, or if you want to go with the, I'm assuming that's a wolf skin. Looks like a wolf. I mean, Rome, wolves, does kind of go together. I don't know if these are specific to the body types. Let's take a look here. Okay, so there are actually different types of helmets from the Dacian Wars. That would be these guys up here with the crossbar. I'll have to take a look later. And there's the severed head option if you want to go that route. Oh, it looks like we have a severed head on a pike as well. If you want your guys going doing that. Alright. WH1 fits WC. Okay, so it looks like for the wolfskins, it's only the heads that go with specific pelts. So something to keep in mind, which I hopefully will remember myself. Bodies themselves, you can see here, they've got just the chainmail skirt. They don't have the shirt, not skirt. They don't have like the segmented armor. Nothing on their arms or legs from the looks of things. Looks like he's wearing pants. Okay. Got like the short pants on. They dig it. So my hope is that I'm going to get to use some of these guys in various skirmish games I've got. Since there's only 24, it seems kind of silly to worry about putting them into massed battle units. Also, the Victrix stuff does not come with bases like some of the other historical companies, so you can just go ahead. I know they do make bases, and you can, you know, since there's none included, you can base them however you want. They do have the little integrated base there, so I don't know how balanced they're going to be. But give me a sec. We're going to put a few sprues together. Obviously, we're going to have quite a few wearing the wolf pelts, and it wouldn't surprise me if a few of them end up with axes and other bits and baubles as they march off into the unknown, right? So sit tight. Let's see how those guys turn out there. All right, we got quite a few of our auxiliary legionnaires all put together. Opted to build quite a few of both the wolfskin versions. I'm assuming those are wolfskins. They don't look like bear skins. But put together quite a few with the pelts and quite a few without. And I gotta say, I'm really digging this kit. The pelts especially, the fact that they are separate pieces from the head and the bodies means they're going to get used in all sorts of other kits. Anything that needs furs. I am going to clean these up a bit further. I can see all sorts of sloppy glue spots, but I tried my best to get them into some interesting poses rather than just have everybody marching. You only have about 20-something in the bag. I was going to say box, but it wasn't a box. And I wanted to make sure that since I'm going to be primarily using these for skirmish uses, that we have a variety of interesting poses. Seems like I went with mostly the spears for the pelts. And I do have a few left over still that I'm planning to do stuff with. And then gladii for the more basic units. And as you can see, besides all the paint on my fingers, there are some decent sculpts that are possible. The poses, I should say. I gotta clean that up. You do need to clip off the hilts of the gladius if they are in the scabbard. Optio, and obviously the Optio needs his gladius cleaned up a little bit. Our signifer. Our Centurion. Those are from the command sprue. And the Cornicron. I believe that's what they were called, right? The musician dude. And again, there is a little bit of a need for cleanup, but that's mostly just me. You do have a variety of poses available, though, with the spears. More so than the gladius. Underhand, overhead, angled down, at ease, or just advancing, and then you have the more at rest style. So, I gotta say, good variety in terms of that. I did actually get one painted up as a early test subject. Now, I unfortunately do not have the fancy water slide on decal shield emblems, but I gotta say overall they painted up pretty decent. I like these guys, and the fact that they have pants or capris or jorts or whatever you want to call them. So came out pretty decent. I did put him on a little bit larger base just because I wanted to get a good balance with how he's going to stack up with some of the other models in my collection. So with a... what are these? These are the Warlords, Caesar Legions. Obviously, different time periods, but, you know, why not? If we're going to game, why not game creatively? So you can see they're going to come out pretty similar in scale with the larger bases, with a Victrix Dacian, with a Warlord SPQR Gaul Hero. How about with a Warhammer Inquisitor? So you can see with these bases, I used a little bit larger ones. I think they're really going to work well mixed up with whatever stuff. You want to use them for fantasy allies of some kind of imaginary nation. Why not, right? You want to have them go fight actual barbarians? Sure, it works out pretty well. I think with the larger bases, they really scale well. Grabbing, like, for example, a Frostgrave guy on a little bit smaller base, you can see there is a bit of a discrepancy there. Let's see if I have... that's the Legionnaire I was looking for. One of the earlier Imperial ones. Well, it looks like they're going to let the Gauls and all of the other allied tribes do all the dirty work if you have them with the other Imperials. They're just too small. It's a shame. But I gotta say, I mean, I like the Imperials. One of these days I will get the Victrix Imperial stuff, but at least I've got the allied Legionnaire legions for the time being. And I think, in general, as I knock the camera around here, I think he's going to work out really well with other models in my collection. So I'm kind of pleased about that, and I look forward to actually getting some honest-to-goodness historical games in with these guys. Nice kit. I think there is a lot of more flexibility in poses than I originally thought, and other than the fact that it leaves you wanting more, especially compared to some of Victrix's bigger boxed sets like their Dacians or their Vikings or their Saxons or their other, like, later Republic Legionnaires, I think there's still a pretty good value for what you get in the box. So, put a link down below in case you never checked out Victrix's stuff, and I'm going to say, hopefully this bodes well for more models of theirs getting reviewed on this channel. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamerlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.